My name's Jeremy.
My name's Karen, and we're the Kuhns family. We have Asher, Corbin, Grace, and Bella, who we just adopted in August. We started foster care in 2018 and have had the opportunity to foster about 5 children plus some respite placements in there. I had a heart for foster care and adoption starting in college or maybe even before then. However, it was a little bit different because Jeremy wasn't quite there yet.
So I had experience with foster care. I had a number of cousins that were adopted through the foster care system, and so I had a different perspective than what Karen did, in the aspect of I saw the good and I saw the hard. And so that was something that scared me a lot, going into it. But it wasn't until we went to a connection group, and the connection group leaders were foster care parents, where we got to see a different side of it, a side where I could see the good that was being done, and I think more importantly, the need that was there. In 2018, we got our license, and shortly thereafter, we had our first placement, which was a 6-month-old boy. And that placement actually went about as good as a placement can. We were able to reunify with the parents, and so it was one of those initial experiences that nobody ever has usually, because it all went right. It's not always typical that cases end up with reunification. In fact, most cases I would say don't. And so for us to have that heartache, of being able to accept a child into our home, love them like we were to love our own kids, or as best we could, and then have to say goodbye to them was really, really hard.
We lived in the tension a lot of loving them, like Jeremy said, as our own children, while also working towards reunification, which we knew ultimately was best. Like, our desire was for them to grow up with their own mom and dad, while also trying to love them really well in our own home, as if we're picturing them as our own. And that was difficult, but it was what we needed to do. Our last placement is now our daughter, Bella, and she came to us a couple years ago as a 3-year-old little girl. We were really deep into working towards reunification up until Christmas of 2024. And soon after Christmas, though, we found out that a lot of things had been found out that were unsafe, and that Bella would forever be ours. And so we began the process of working towards adoption with her. During that time, we've been working through seeing how trauma impacts her mind, and seeing how social situations, she did not have the skills that a normal 3 and 4 and 5-year-old had. So she doesn't have the same starting ground as our biological kids, but she is now officially ours, and we get to love on her and raise her up with the same gospel, the same expectations as our own. And yet we know and have been learning that that is going to look a little bit different of how we approach that with her.
I don't think we would be here today in the same capacity if it wasn't for our connection group. And so the importance of being able to just play that supporting role was really, really important.
Yeah, some of the tangible ways they did this were meals, especially those first couple weeks when you get maybe an hour or two's notice that you're gaining a child, and so life is chaotic, and they handle the meals for the week. Sometimes it was a note, especially after reunification and the hardship that came from that. Or sometimes it was, here's $5 Venmo. The day of court, go get yourself a coffee because I know you're walking into something hard. So it was just little things like that, but along the way we constantly felt like that we weren't alone in it.
I think the thing that challenged Karen and I the most was we know that we're called to be missional. Foster care for us is the way that we are doing that, the way that we want to minister to the lost and the least, and it's in our backyard. And so when we talk about loving our neighbor, sometimes it literally is the neighbor. And so that would be the encouragement, is that whatever you do, whether it's supporting foster families, whether it's training to be a foster family, that you would prayerfully consider taking those next steps.
One of the biggest things we've learned about the heart of God is simply his unconditional love, and foster care really reveals those that are often overlooked or forgotten, literally neglected, and God loves them. And in entering into that and seeing how some days it's really hard to mimic the love of God has really shown us how immense God's love is, for he never struggles to love and is slow to anger and just pours out his love for his children. And so we've just seen the contrast when we've struggled to how amazing God's love is.